Imagine an empire that fought almost without pause for 6 centuries against kings, sultans, crusaders, rebels, and increasingly powerful European states. It gained land, lost land, and rebuilt itself time and again. But while all of this was happening, it achieved something remarkable. It did not go bankrupt. That empire was the Ottoman Empire. If you're ready to learn how the Ottomans sustained economic power for 600 years, let's begin. Welcome to Perspective Engine. From 1299 to 1922, the empire continued its existence, longer than Rome, longer than Britain. But the real issue isn't its lifespan. The real question is this: how did a state that fought so many wars finance its economy? Because what destroys states is rarely lost battles. It's poor financial management, budget failures, and broken systems. The Ottomans realized this earlier than almost any other state. While European kingdoms struggled with expensive armies and mercenaries, the Ottomans turned warfare into a self-sustaining system. The Ottomans began as a small frontier principality. As Byzantium weakened and Mongol pressure receded, they were in the right place at the right time. Their early conquests were not just military victories, they were also economic gains. Every conquest meant new farmland, villages, population, and tax revenue. From the very beginning, war was not a cost. It was a profit-expanding mechanism. Geography amplified this advantage. The Ottoman Empire controlled the most critical passageways between Europe and Asia. Branches of the Silk Road, Mediterranean ports, Balkan corridors. Merchants had no choice but to pass through Ottoman lands, and everyone who passed paid taxes. This provided the state with a constant and reliable cash flow. But what truly made the difference was how the army was financed. The Ottomans deliberately avoided paying soldiers regular salaries. Instead, they established the Timar system. Rather than receiving wages, a sipahi was granted the right to collect taxes from a specific region. The soldier paid for his own horse, weapons, and armor, and joined the army during wartime. In this way, the state maintained an army without draining the treasury. Thanks to this system, the Ottoman army was inexpensive, could be mobilized quickly, and did not burden the budget even during peacetime. In Europe, if kings ran out of money, armies disbanded. In the Ottoman system, the machine kept running. The second major reason was the Janissaries. Trained through the Devashirme system, these soldiers were raised from a young age to serve the state. They were loyal not to family, tribe, or region, but directly to the state itself. They were professional, disciplined, and formed the most effective infantry force of their era. The ethical side of this system is controversial, but economically it achieved something crucial. The state obtained fully trained adult soldiers without bearing the lifelong cost of raising them from birth. Over the long term, this represented massive savings. Another Ottoman advantage was this: each conquest financed the next war. New territories meant new tax bases, new trade routes, and new ports. While European kingdoms returned from wars buried in debt, the Ottomans often returned with fuller treasuries. State monopolies reinforced this structure. Essential goods such as salt, coffee, and tobacco were under state control. Because these products were always in demand, they generated steady income for the treasury. Additionally, there were semi-autonomous regions tied to the empire. Crimea, Wallachia, and Moldavia paid annual tribute. They were cheaper to maintain and highly profitable, and the most critical point of all, for centuries the Ottomans did not borrow. War was financed through land, trade, taxation, conquest, and plunder. This kept the empire resistant to external pressure, but the world changed. After the 1700s, trade routes shifted to the seas. The Atlantic gained importance, and overland routes lost value. The Timar system collapsed. The Janissaries grew powerful and resisted reform. Building a modern army required cash, and the Ottoman Empire turned to the one thing it had avoided for centuries: foreign debt. Debts grew. Interest rates rose. In 1881, the Ottoman economy fell under foreign control. The empire was not defeated militarily, but financially. Because empires do not collapse on the battlefield, they collapse on the balance sheet. Today the situation is not very different. Straits, energy routes, debt crises, state monopolies. Only the names have changed. The scenarios are the same. The Ottoman story tells us this: power can endure for centuries with the right financial system. When that system collapses, even the greatest empire collapses with it. History does not repeat itself exactly. But if you fail to understand it, the same mistakes will be made again.